Hi, everybody. It's B with Journey to Jackpot Slots. Welcome. And today I am super excited to have John with NJ Slot Guy with us. And I have to tell you this, he was so sweet. We were down at Atlantic City and we went down to see Binky. And when we were coming up the escalator, we knew NJ was going to be there. And we were kind of like looking around. And Mr. C goes, "Oh, hey, there's NJ." So we're hollering across in the casino, and he comes over like he knew us, like, "Hey," and we were I felt so at home. So NJ, John, I can't thank you enough for that. And I asked you on the spot if you would give me an interview, and would you say?
I said, absolutely. You let me know. Of course.
Yeah, yeah.
We all should be saying yes to that because in this community, the community started with people playing slot channels, right? And then it turned into people are traveling now and doing the casino comps and stuff like that. And now you kind of see it branching off into exactly this. I was doing this with Slots Fan. I'm going to start doing this on my own on my own separate podcasting, network. And I can't wait to, show my audience this entire community because it's so spread out now. There were 20 channels when I got in. Now there's 1,000.
Oh,
And
yeah.
there are people who don't even know that, some of us exist. And I feel like they should. You should always, there's such diversity throughout the community with, where you're from, which state you're from, how you are, how you speak, and all that. It feels like there's something for everybody, like when you put on Netflix, right? It's what's recommended for you. Same exact stuff. And it's up to us to spread that and show people even more that's out there and show the personal side of, where we all came from and what we did before this and stuff.
Right.
It's just interesting.
It connects people. I think it connects people more. It definitely connected me more with you. I do watch your Slot Fan channel. I think
Thank
it's
you.
fun, and I think it, I mean, I like it. So, and there's so many different things that you can find out about people in different interviews, that somebody might let something slip, hey,
Yes.
right. Okay, so to start, I'm the one that gets to start this. So to start, what was life like before you started this channel? What did you do?
Well, I was constantly back and forth. Like I always worked different jobs throughout my life since I was like 16 years old. And it just there were so many different things. And every time I was working, I would get comfortable in a position, I'd work my way up as far as I could go. And then I would sit there and go, what the hell am I doing? I said, every day I'm waking up and I'm making somebody else rich. And it never sat well with me. I always did my jobs very well, of course, top to bottom. And the last thing I had done was I helped a buddy of mine actually open a car detailing business, which is extremely successful to this day. I remember washing these cars and detailing them in his driveway right here where I live, driving up every day, all that stuff, just thinking about what the next thing is, hoping that it was going to be that. I'm going to end up opening a car detailing, whatever. And then I just happened to put on YouTube one night with my father, and I happened to say to him, hey, Dad, what's a slot machine you haven't seen in a while? I bet you if we YouTube it, we could find it and like watch somebody play it. That was my thought process. Sure enough, you know, I'm clicking through for 4 hours. I'm watching Brian Christopher. I'm watching The Big Payback, and I'm like, what the hell is this? I go down to Atlantic City once a month with my parents, and at this point, I was playing slot machines a lot more. I'm like, I'm just gonna pull my phone out and see what happens. Not thinking anything of it. I'm still doing car detailing, and I'm like, I'm just going to start a channel. I'll end up having, 85 subscribers, all my friends, who cares? Like, it's fun. And all of a sudden, before I blinked my eyes, I had 5,000 subscribers. And I was
Yeah.
like, holy crap, what's going on here? And then before I blinked my eyes again, I had 10,000 subscribers. And I said, something's going on here and I got to take it and run with it. So I stopped everything I was doing and I focused completely on this. And I still, to this day, have no clue what the hell I'm doing. So, we're all figuring out and we're all learning as we go. This is still as many channels as there are, as successful as it is, and million subscribers here and there. This is still on the ground floor as far as I'm concerned. So we got a long way to go.
Really, yeah, I figure it is, but sometimes I look and see, oh my God, people are popping up. I mean, they're just like popping out like bubble gum,
Mhm.
you
Yeah,
Yeah,
know.
but
everywhere.
you still have to learn the rules of the road. We learned something from the Rhonda interview that we didn't know. She was doing online gambling and recording it, but
Right.
the YouTube shadow bans that. So
Of
had to
course.
start a second channel, but that's not, it's like you said, you're going along and you're learning these things. It's like that's really good information if you're trying to
Yeah.
mix it in a little bit with your channel, do some online gambling, and then it's like, okay, they're going to shadow ban you because of it.
Right. Right.
Yeah, I
You
had a
do.
lot of online gambling on my channel, and she told me, she said, might not be a good idea. She told me to kind of get
Yeah,
it off of there.
was it Ryan Christopher? She said started the second YouTube
Yeah,
channel.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just for online gaming only.
Right. Right.
Who
And he
was
could
your
do that.
first slot influencer that you watched?
I watched, it was definitely one of those names that I said because there was like three or four different videos I clicked through to see four different people. And that was East Coast Slots, The Big Payback, Brian Christopher, and there's definitely somebody else. It's probably like Vegas Low Roll or something like that. And but certain people grabbed me. East Coast grabbed me. I loved what he did. I was like, this is great. Like what this guy does. Same thing with Tim, and of course, Brian Christopher is Brian Christopher. I mean, how do you not love Brian
Yeah.
Christopher? So,
Yeah.
those were my first. And like when I dove deep into it, and I started watching like 2 or 3 hours worth, it was Tim and it was East Coast Slots. Those were the top two I was really zoned in on. I love what Murray did with his channel on East Coast because he was narrating over the video and I loved his voice. He had such a perfect voice for it and he was humorous. He's from the East Coast, share the same humor, all that stuff. Sure enough, B, just like you're saying, I just happened to reach out. Actually, that's a lie. I reached out to Tim and Tim responded to me right away. I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my God, this guy, I'm watching you on TV. He's responding to me. What is this stuff? East Coast actually reached out to me and emailed me and said, hey, man, like you're posting 2 videos a day. Like you're not even monetized yet. Like slow down. And, like he was teaching me like how to go about it. Post every day, post once a day or every other day until you get monetized, man, because you're missing out on money. And that was something that grabbed me immediately and said, look at this. Like, what a great guy. Like, he didn't have to do that. Like, I'm watching this guy on TV. All of a sudden, I have an email from him. Like, that was nuts, too. And sure enough, just going back and forth and just becoming friends with them, throughout 6 years of doing this, going on 7 years now, and keeping in touch and meeting up with each other. Like, that's so cool. I never did that. I've never left Jersey in my life. So, like, to have a friend in Atlanta, Georgia down there, and I'm meeting up with him at the Hard Rock Tampa, and we're both influencers. Like, this was a wild thing to grasp, and before you know it, I was meeting everybody that was in the space. Granted, there was only like 20 or 30 channels at that time,
Right.
and then
Yeah.
boom, COVID happened and it was absolute mayhem. And I had people now emailing me and I did the exact same thing that I was taught from East Coast Slots and Tim, and I responded right back. And it was people like Stacy from Stacy's High Limit Slots and Randy from Mid South Slots and Stefan from Old School Slots. They were just like me, watching me on TV, except, me, I was watching East Coast. So how do I start a channel? And I wrote them paragraphs like this, start to finish. It's the best thing of all time. It's great. This is exactly what you do. And they have all surpassed me in every single way. And that is so rewarding. And you can't put a price on that. And now, after branching off into 4 or 5 different channels, helping out, I'm hoping that they could do the same thing. And you can absolutely see how this balloons, into a beautiful community as long as everybody follows those steps of the way. How could you not respond to an email? Like, who are you? You're just a person, at least respond.
There have been one or two that haven't.
Yeah.
And there was one person that said that he was waiting for somebody bigger to interview him. And
That's a
I
shame.
was like, oh no, that's cool.
Well, at least it was a response. Didn't get the answer
Yeah.
you want, but
Exactly. At least it's a response. They could have just ghosted you or whatever it is. I'm sure it's going to get to that point where people think that their time is a lot more valuable than it is. You're helping out somebody else by talking to them for 30 to 60 minutes. Is it really that trying of a thing to do? Like it's for your audience as well. Like, your audience now gets to know you a little bit on a personal level, and now they get to know you as well. And maybe they like you and now start to follow you. What's wrong with that? I can't comprehend that. It doesn't both with things.
there's so much competition out there. I hope that the community doesn't really start affecting everyone, because their social media grabs so much attention. But I've learned in business, I mean, I was in construction, and I learned that there's room for everybody, and
Yeah,
there's room
I
to
mean,
help everybody. So I hope the
absolutely.
slot community, you know, let's say 5, 10 years down the road, they don't turn on each other because everybody's trying to grab their piece of the pie.
Yeah,
You
I
just got
mean,
to find your lane.
find your lane. It's like, sadly, B, and because I've been in it in a while, there is tons of drama throughout this community.
Uh,
Channels hate each other for no reason. People are looking at each other at competition. I promise you that, and I hope.
oh,
Oh,
we lost him. You
you're
back?
back.
We're back. We're back.
Oh, great.
I hope
Minor hiccup.
that you never have to experience drama within the slot community. I have, top to bottom.
Really?
It's ridiculous. We can all exist. We're all going for an infinite piece of pie here for at YouTube and the casino. It's like a double banger. Like, we're all going for the casino's money, like we always do, and we're all in this YouTube space where it's infinite. So if we just helped each other, if everybody helped each other, we would be out there that much more, and we would be that much more popular. So I get it. It's business and all this stuff, and I wish people can realize the fact of, you don't have to be friends with everybody. It's fine. This is a
Right,
business thing.
right.
You don't have to be personal friends with people. And some people are only here temporary. That's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. I've met hundreds of channels. I'm really close friends with about 10 to 20 of them. That's it. The other ones are distant. But if I ever ran into them, it would be a fantastic embrace because we've made that acquaintance already. And, we're harmless. We all respect each other for the most part. However, there's a couple rotten, within the community, and a couple that just absolutely despise each other, and I hate to see it. I can't stand it. I wish it was over with. I do understand some parts of the drama and slot community that people have against each other. It does make sense. I just, I try my best to just bring everybody together. What are we doing here? I almost died 3 times. Yeah, come on, people. What are we friggin' doing? We're having the time of our lives. Do you know how people respond to me? All these fathers that I coach with, and I'm at football and baseball games with, where they're like, "Hey, what are you doing next week?" "Oh, I'm going to Biloxi in a couple of weeks." "Oh yeah, from there, then I'm going to Vegas a month from there." These people are like, "Wait, what? What do you do?" And I tell them this, and it's like a dream. They're like, "Oh my God, that's what you do?" Yeah, and it's like, why can't we embrace that? Look what we all have together. It's I don't understand it. Again, I hope you never have to experience it. I really, really hope that you can stay. You could be, trust me, you could be as nice as you want to be, and you can't make everybody happy, and that's fine. I just wish people would go that way, and I go this way, and we're fine. We both exist. It's okay. We didn't know each other before this. We don't have to know each other now. It's okay, But
You sound so much like him. That's what he says
Well,
about
oh
drama.
my
well,
God,
but see,
it's crazy.
I think it's our culture. I mean, I used to do a lot of business with foreign countries, and they
Okay,
help each other out, literally. I mean, the Chinese are big on helping other
right.
Chinese people out. Japanese are big on help. Oh, wait a minute, you're my competition. Oh, you need help? I'll help you. But I think it's, that grind culture that, I got to get up, I got to be better than the next person. There's nothing wrong with that. But just, you're doing similar things and your personalities are different and you bring different things to the table. You know
It's
what I
fine.
mean? But I
It's
think it's more of
fine.
our culture, and that's the way we do it here. Is like I got to step on you to get to the next guy. When you never know when you have to come back down that ladder because everything
That's right.
comes back down. Don't step on me because now, oh, you need a job, you need a favor from me. Oh yeah, you remember
Yep.
me? Let's go screw yourself.
Exactly. I just don't get it. I'll never, I'll never understand why and how I'm back in high school again at 40. I get over it. I still have nightmares where I think I'm late for school and I go, "Oh, you haven't done that in over 2 decades, buddy. Relax." So it's like, what are we doing? We're out partying and having a good time at casinos. Let's do that. And for the most part, we do, especially the people in this umbrella that I call, we all get together. It is some of the best times, and most of the community, if you ask them for a story, give me a story from the casino, I'm usually involved with that story somehow, because craziness occurs. It's mayhem, and it's awesome mayhem. It's what it should be. The casinos are our secret place to go. There's a whole nother community out there that doesn't go to the casino and doesn't like understand it. If you were to go into work and you're like, yeah, I lost $800 over the weekend, these people's head blow off and they're like, what did you just say? So it's like our second lives, that we also have here, where we can enjoy it because we share with each other misery in that sense, or positive too, like, hey, oh my god, I lost 800, I lost 1,000 down here at Bellagio, I hit the grand over here, I hit the mega over here. We can share those stories with each other and respect it and enjoy it, which gives that chemistry, that much more than just like a random person you would meet. So it's like a double banger of excitement and happiness, and that's why I'm just, again, I don't understand it. It's stupid.
Hey, you're hitting on a lot of things that I wanted to ask. So one of the questions was, how did you meet everybody? I was here in Pennsylvania. There's no way to really, people don't get together, I mean, even in the casinos, I would try to talk to a couple of people. You come here, let's get a group together. We can't naturally, we talked about it, we can't film here, although we've been.
Wait a minute, his biggest video was filmed at the Sands.
Here, where we are.
I used to.
In our little neck of the woods.
You said can't. He said I did.
Oh yeah, multiple videos. Like my first videos are absolutely from the Sands. And guess what? I used to 55 minutes from me in the middle of a day in the wintertime. 55 minutes, I'm there, and nobody would say anything to me. I would literally sit there and just do this. And nobody would say anything for multiple times. That one time they went banana land on me. They had multiple security guards surround me, handed my license, all this stuff. I'm like, come on, you treat me like a criminal here. And they're like, you got to delete those videos. And I was like, yeah, sure. Let me delete those videos. I deleted them in front of them. Little did he know it goes to deleted file that you could just recover. Right. So guess what? Those videos got six-figure views there, Dan. But I've been in contact with them as well. I did the right thing, obviously. Once I realized this was the wrong thing to do, the first thing I did was, this is a hometown casino for me. It's so close. I got to get in touch with the right people. I've spoken to them 3, 4, 5 times maybe. And I mean, just as recently as a year or two ago. And they want nothing. When I tell you nothing to do with it, they're just like Atlantic City. It's the same thing. And it's like everything surrounding me is preventing me from doing this. And everybody always asks me, you're NJ Slugger. You don't even play in New Jersey anymore. And that's why I tell them the NJ doesn't stand for New Jersey. It stands for no judgment at this point, because my own state doesn't approve me. The local casinos don't approve me. I have to fly to Tampa. I have to fly to Ohio. I have to fly to Vegas. I have to fly to, which is fine. I love doing that. It just stinks, But luckily now I found Delaware, and, my goal is to bring them as many creators as possible that are on the East Coast, because they welcome me with open arms. And it's like, hey, Atlantic City, a place that is a dilapidated, piece of garbage now compared to 20 years ago. Right. Like, you should be welcoming us in, you dumbasses. Like, what are you doing? There's so many of us that we could bring here. I could bring a crew of 10 people there, and that whatever casino we were at would absolutely be, the talk of it for the next month on YouTube, between all of the views if we combine them. I did the math on this before, and it is remarkable. I brought Tim, East Coast Slots, and a couple other channels to the Golden Nugget and AC just for a couple nights. Can you imagine? We single-handedly move the needle with revenue, with anything. Like, the demographics that we're seeing these channels. Look, Ohio channels at the Golden Nugget and AC. The one from Georgia's at Atlanta. The one from Florida is an AC. Look what I did for you people. And still nothing. I got to fight and claw just to get approval.
Now, we asked Rhonda this question too. But do you think it's because, some of it's corporate, and you got old dudes running corporate that don't have the vision?
You nailed it.
You know what I mean? When I used to be in business, we used to call it a paradigm. It always took somebody from outside the business to see something that you couldn't see because you were doing it every day. And do you think it's just these old guys sitting there, we're making enough money, we don't need to change, we're fine?
We're good. No. It's a lot easier to say no than it is to research and look into something. And I was just talking about the older generation the other day when I was at Foxwoods, and I'll get into that in a second. But they're not used to this camera. They are against social media and iPads and phones and stuff. So they're like, no, hell no, we're out. Every person, I shouldn't say every person, because the first person that got me approval was a woman that retired like a year or two later. That's where she was on the age range. She understood what I was trying to do. She respected me, and I will never forget her for that. Shout out to Patricia Richter. Now, now whenever I'm getting approval or something, it's always the younger generation, the director of marketing or the VP of whatever. They're always on the younger side, it seems like, that are like, yeah, come on in and film. Can you tag us? Can you hashtag this and that?
Right.
And, they have their stuff together, and they take that time to look into what it takes. And it's not a lot. Like, I can't stand the lies either from the casino. It's the DGA. It's not the DGA. I've been approved by the DGA 2,000 times to record. So I know it's not them. So try again. Like, what is your problem? And it's, you put the pieces together after being lied to 100 times. And you're like, they just don't want to look into it and go the extra step for me. And I'm not even asking for nothing. I'm just asking for a piece of paper as my approval. Can you imagine? Like, there's slot channels that demand money and slot play and stuff like that. And it's like, I'm not doing that. Got me a dinner. Like, that's all. That's all. Like,
You would have
still
such a
quarantine.
huge following because people from New Jersey would be there. They'd come more often because they want to see you. They're going to be,
we went to New Jersey to see Binky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's like a 3 hour drive for us, and then obviously meeting you and Slot Hopper. It made our day. You were the bonus, you and Slot Hopper.
Without
It
doubt.
was just one of these things. It's like, oh, and we were talking to you for a while. We went 15 minutes, half hour, chit chat.
Yeah. Please, where am I in a rush? Unless it's very, very rare you won't see me, stop and talk. I got a plane to catch or something. But no, where am I going? Where are the slot machines going at the end of the day? It's really what really gets me is like the people that stop you, which I love. Trust me, I've welcomed people. I've moved over and have them sit with me. I love it. You see their face light up, and I know that feeling because I'm going all the way back, 6-7 years ago, putting myself in that boat with Tim and East Coast Slots, and it's the same thing. If I were to go meet them at a casino or run into them in Atlantic City, I would be the same way. I'd be like, oh my God, it's you, holy crap. So I go, above and beyond for these people that stop me. It's the people that don't understand that you have to keep recording and that I'm working here like, all right, that's enough. Let's
right,
go. Let's
then you
get the
kind of
show on
feel
the
bad,
road.
but you got to move them on.
Let's get on the road. But another channel, of course, it's another influencer or even somebody that was just, pulling out their phone to try to do this. I will absolutely stop and give my time for, any day of the week. Yeah, no doubt about it.
I think that's a good idea. I used to meet a lot of celebrities back when I was younger, and I ran into Eddie Murphy.
Oh my God.
This is close to Eddie Murphy. He wouldn't shake my hand. He wouldn't say hi, and I stopped watching Eddie Murphy movies.
Oh, no way. I thought that was
like,
actually
you can't at least
ending.
shake my hand and say hi. I'm a big fan. You know what I mean? And it's like, no, I'm done with him. I stopped watching this movie just because of that interaction. So
Wow.
if like if she ever gets big enough, it's like, yeah, talk to the people because they're the people that are making you money through YouTube AdSense, or they're the ones that are get you in the casino and allow you to film.
Exactly.
So you
How
should
could I
take the
not?
time.
Right. My
How could I
goal is
not be
just to get to
thankful?
know
Yeah.
you guys. That's my goal.
Yeah.
Fun. I'm at the end, last half of life. So, for me, it's like the drama. I guess you get to a certain age where you just don't want drama anymore in your life. You realize when you're younger, it's different. You're full of hormones, you're full of
Yeah, of
a
course.
bunch of other stuff. And, you just, at this stage of the game, I don't want drama. I don't need it. I get enough of it from my grandchildren.
God, yeah, like stop. Like it's so stupid. Who's avoiding this casino? Who's avoiding? Forget it. Let's not go negative. Let's keep it on the positive roll. What else you got for me, B?
Okay,
Because I could talk.
Okay. When you started your YouTube channel, were you looking to make it a business?
No, this was all by accident. Like I said, I thought I was just gonna like send links to my friends and I'd have 65 subscribers in a year. Like it happened so fast that I had to drop everything I was doing and go, I have to take this serious. So that was, if I started my channel in August, by the time November came, I pushed everything aside, that I had going in my life, and did a complete 180. It was like, now I went from somebody who never left the state to somebody that was flying out of it once a month, and now all of a sudden I have my face up on a billboard up in Northern California at a casino. Like, now I'm on a private jet. Like, what the hell is going on? And it happened so quick. However, after speaking to people who are popular and on TV, because that's what we're on TV. It sounds weird, but it's the truth. My
Yeah.
audience watches me on the TV
So do
because they're an
we.
older audience. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so do I. What do you think I do when I'm downstairs? I'm on YouTube. If somebody's live, Mr. Handpay's live, I'm watching on the TV.
Yeah.
It's big. Why wouldn't I? And after going through that whole transition of this is real life stuff right now. Like, you got to take this serious. I had all of these channels telling me, like, you got a voice for this. Like, you need to show your face. I didn't want to show myself either. If you go back and look at my videos, it took a little while for me to turn it around, because I was never a good public speaker. I was never good out in public speaking. I don't like when people sing happy birthday to me. This is all true. I'm serious. I don't like I don't like center of attention. I don't look people in the eyes when I talk to them. I'm always off to the side, anxiety stuff. And, hearing this and seeing my fans go, we want to see what you look like. We want to see. And I finally, took that deep breath and did it. And everybody loved it. It was a good confidence booster. Like, holy crap, everybody loves me. Like, I can't believe what I'm being told here. Like, this is boosting my confidence and pulling something out of me that I never knew I had, and it's just it's making me look at 100 different roads, and trust me, I'm this close to putting a microphone in my hand and going on stage, but I just can't. That hump is very hard to get over. I'm very used to being, the middler in a table and being the funny guy and all that stuff. I don't know what it would be like to stand up there and not get a reaction, because I'm always used to reaction, because I love making people smile. I love making people laugh. I love joking about myself to get people to crack and feel more comfortable about themselves, and if there's always a reaction, there's always a laugh, like how you're smiling right now. I wouldn't know what to do if I was on a stage and there was no response. I would probably tell everybody to take
you
a
always
walk
have
and
to
start cursing.
push yourself.
Yeah. So, but this
Yeah.
has opened up avenues that I never knew existed.
That is awesome.
Yeah, I was on the radio. I was in a movie. I was on a private jet. Like, hold on. Up to 35 years old, like, I've done nothing. Like, I went to Wildwood, New Jersey for once a week in the summer, come back. Like, it was crazy. So, like, all of that stuff just happened at once, but it was all positive stuff. And it was, take it and run with it, take it and run with it. Go as far as you can. Let's try to be number one. I'm always going to try to be number one. I still, to this day, and it could be self-proclaimed, I still think that I'm the number one most entertaining channel out there in the community. I don't need to do, this is no shot at anybody, I don't need to do $200 bets. And I have a feeling that if I did, there wouldn't be anything. It would be me, and then I would bring everybody else with me, because I feel like that's the advantage, where if I could get to that threshold, it would be nuts. It really would be, because I would just be going absolutely banana land, and that's what people want.
Well, now this is going to be a tough question for me to ask you, but now, because of your big personality, you know what I mean? I've listened to you swear at the machines, not that we all don't do it, but the big time YouTubers, to be quite honest, are very vanilla.
Yeah.
I mean, golly gee shucks. Do you think that could be holding you back from getting in if somebody watches your video? Oh, he's swearing, I don't want this or that. You know what I mean?
100%. So when I started, again, those videos from Sands, I'm barely talking. I'm holding myself back, because I was like, I'm on YouTube. You can't curse on YouTube. At that point, I didn't, I wasn't a YouTube watcher, so I didn't realize all the people that did exist out there. And I'm like, you got to shut up, because we're at the casino, right? Unless I was there during the day with Sands, that was different. I wasn't drinking. But when I was in Atlantic City, I was, drinking. I got my friends with me, smoking whatever, I'm a little Scott Shot in Atlantic City. And one time I happened to release that out and just be myself. And I must have been having double jacks on the rocks, and I was getting pissed off or something. I'm hitting the spin button with my whiskey, and I think I let out a curse or two or something, and people went crazy. I love this. I can't believe it. And once I realized, I'm like, oh my God. And I'm watching the other channels, and they're clean as could be. Brian top to bottom, Tim, top to bottom, East Coast, top to bottom. And I was like, F this. It's go time. Like, it's go time. And New Jersey is always has that, attitude. So I was like, might as well. Like, this is just you. Just be you. People love it. Then I turned the camera around. I showed myself. Then I'm telling everybody to go F themselves. And now everybody's jumping in. And I always said this. It's funny that you said Eddie Murphy. I was a stand-up comedy guy still to this day. All the old guys, Murphy, Pryor, Carlin. And I'm like, wait a minute. I was like, these guys are national celebrities, and every other word out of their mouth is a curse word. Then I started to think about it, and I said, you know what? Because of the coaching, I said, when kids take me the most serious? When I drop an F-bomb or I drop a curse word. And then they're all, my kids too. It's the same thing to this day. And then I'm thinking about me when I was a kid, right? My mother would yell, he wouldn't listen, wouldn't listen, wouldn't spoon, still wouldn't listen. Then the curses happened, and you were like, So I'm like, hold on, who's my boss? Nobody. I'm just gonna go nuts, because what do you do when you're sitting at a casino, sitting at the slot machine, and this son of a gun isn't hitting? You're cursing at it, or you're getting mad at it, or whatever it is. So it was more realistic. People loved it. Then I started to share my losses, all of them, all of my losses, because I noticed everybody was just sharing wins, and I'm like, hold on a second, this isn't correct. And I have a feeling that the mixture of both absolutely kept me at a medium at some point when everybody started to come out. It kept me at a medium to say he's not going to get and break above that level, because there's more losses than wins. He's dropping F-bombs during a live stream. He's calling the woman a broad on the machine. He's going nuts over here. He's dropping mob movie quotes. He's telling people, how to F can you grin, all that stuff. And then I'm just like, you know what? I made this being myself. My audience loves me for myself. And I have the most loyal audience in the community too, I think, as well. I'm not changing it. I said, screw it. If I have to do something for a brand, I've worked with IGT multiple times and whatnot. You watch those videos, clean as a whistle. I can do it, of course. It's a little bit of a struggle when you're at a casino losing money and you're mixing in alcohol and other fun sprinkly stuff. Not a good mixture, because yourself is going to come out a little bit more too. But I do have to admit, I just did back-to-back live streams at Foxwoods. It was good to be back, because I do not go live. I make it special. Oh man, just seeing the chat go nuts again. They're getting me fired up. And they love it. Once I start losing my mind and start F-bombing and this and that, they go nuts. They go nuts. Everybody starts going, they see thumbs up, super chats are coming in. So it's like my own special community. You know what I mean? My own special community. The problem is when I'm sitting with Tim, and Tim's recording a video and he's got me next to him, and I'm trying to do my best to not ruin his video. But man, I'm having a good time. We're drinking. He's losing money. I'm getting mad for him. And boom, there's an F-bomb. Or boom, there's my voice. You can hear from 2 aisles away, because I'm the loudest person in the damn place too. But you see, look how much fun we're having just talking about it. And that's why I don't mind if that is really going to, hold me back and stuff. I'm not going to change that. I had my audience. I'm here with you guys because of the way I am. When you think about it, right? You know what I mean? Like, I'm friends with the community and the people that I am because of the way I am. I'm not changing it. I'll be the one rough around the edges. I'll die on the hill for everybody else. I don't care. Let's do it. Rock and roll.
We know you're a sports fan, so you're not the Tom Brady. You're the T.O.
T.O. Hey, man, I'm a Niners fan. I love Terrell Owens. I loved him. I loved him. Very misunderstood individual. Have you ever watched his documentary, his hour documentary on a football life? It's incredible. Just misunderstood, but, at the same time, a little much, right? Like a little
you'll let the wide receiver be the diva, but you don't want your quarterback.
Yeah, right. Correct.
And on that note, since I know you're a 49ers fan, do you do any sports betting?
Oh yeah. I'm big. I'm a big college football, NFL bettor. I usually don't touch anything else, because these are the 2 sports that I study and watch. Every day of my life, there is a piece of football in it. So that's where I have my advantage. Like Sam Ace, Rothstein, and Casino. Like, I'm sitting there and I'm doing analytics on a Sunday morning at 6:15 outside. I'm sitting there and I'm looking at recent scores. I'm looking at starting lineups. I'm looking at all that stuff. I can't do that with baseball or basketball or any of that stuff. As much as I love and play those sports, I don't follow them enough to bet them. However, I did do something this year where I was just betting on the Yankees at certain points, and I went like 10-2. At that point, I was like, yeah, all right, I'm done. I haven't touched it since. I like my money. When it comes to sports betting, oh man, do I take it serious? I could find out which lines are bogus, stuff like that. Like this shouldn't be 8.5. It should be 5.5, So that stuff I do every week, every time there's a game on, most likely I'm throwing something at it, but nothing crazy.
Okay. Are you doing it with anybody like FanDuel or DraftKings or?
No, no. And it's so funny because I live in a state where it's legal. You would think one of these companies would come to their senses and say, holy crap, this guy's in Jersey. He can do this legally. He can do this online. He can do this and that. Nope, nothing. Instead, they fly people in to go do it, or they bring somebody in from out of state. Like, what are you people doing? What is going on here? And that's number one in the community when it comes to any kind of football, history, trivia, or any kind of anything. That's another thing, number one. And I wish, there were those DraftKings, FanDuels. Not even then. There could be other ones too. Like, what are you people doing, man? You got a gold mine here. We could become famous together, sort of thing. Whatever, it'll come.
Well, you never know. After this interview, they might see it.
That's right. And if they see it, then I got to credit you guys.
I'll send it to a couple people.
You're the best. Thanks, babe.
I'll be like a must see.
Now, I probably already know the answer to this question, but do you do your own video editing?
Yeah, I do. I do everything. Yes, Randy from Mid South Slots does my thumbnails for the most part, and he's the reason my channel is even still existing over the past 6 months. But yeah, that was another thing too. Like, what has held me back is the thumbnails. I don't. It's like auto generate. What did YouTube pick today? Auto generated. Good night. Like, my time is limited. And I hired somebody from like Fiverr, and all that stuff. And it didn't make that much of a difference. And that's what made me realize what my audience was. Now, I'm not going to pick up on a new audience because I don't do the wahs and put my hat back or whatever it may be. I'm not going to gain that new audience, but my audience doesn't care what the hell my thumbnail looks like at the end of the day, And I tried it. I did some tests. I did it for like a month, and I did it off for a month, did it on for a month. Nothing changed. Everything was the same. And I said, what are you doing? You're wasting time and money. Just keep doing what you're doing. Auto generate it. Make sure it's a bonus or like, a nice line hit. Like, that's as far as I am. But the creativity is completely zero. But speaking about editing, that's all I've been doing for 24 hours. When I tell you
can I ask
6 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay. I have a question for you. What do you think about the influencers doing like 3 and 4 and 5 videos a day?
I mean, I get it. That's how I started. Like I told you, East Coast had emailed me. I was doing 2 a day. I'm like, I got to get out there. I can't believe this is happening, and I'm sure it was partly, for the success, but I was also doing $50 spins. I was going banana land at one point. I don't think you should, because you don't know at what point where you're going to need a backlog. And a perfect example is what just happened to me. I didn't have anything. I had one trip under my belt that was catching up, to the dates. Whereas I used to, and I'll never forget it, right before COVID hit, I remember sitting there at the Golden Nugget with Jer in the 2-bedroom suite. I'm looking at him and I'm like, I got 57 videos on backlog right now that I still have to schedule out. And like, thinking about how I had it, I'm like, Jesus, that's 2 months. I said, I have 2 trips lined up. Like, it was such like a stretched out thing. If you're doing 5 videos a day, what do you do? You're not giving anybody room to breathe here as far as your audience goes. I'm going from, let's just say I'm going from Thunder Cash. I'm watching an hour later. Now I'm watching you play Huff and Puff an hour later. Space it out. Space it out during the week. I want to watch you play that tomorrow. I don't want to do this all in one day. But then again, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's the thing to do.
No,
no.
Of us, you have a couple of kids. We check that out. You got life. You got baseball. You got football. I don't have 3 hours that I can sit aside every day. Give me about like some of your videos. I like that they're 15 minutes. Hands out. Yeah, that's digestible. It's like, I can find 15 minutes to watch this video, but now I'm putting out an hour and a half video. It's like, I ain't got time for that. I'm just gonna throw right through and get to the juicy parts.
Yeah, no. Some of my friends in the community, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, did you see my live the other night?" Like, no, you went live for 3.5 hours. Yeah. Are you out of your mind? That was longer than The Godfather. Like, no, you think I'm sitting there watching you from?
Well, and everybody goes live at the same time because I do like the lives, and I do like several people. And like, if you're going live, if Cowboy Slot's going live, and Binky's going live. I'm like, oh, great. Now who do I get to watch? I have to pick
Right,
one.
right. Yes. Yeah, right, right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I always tell people it's there. Like some channels have it set up to where once their live is done, it's not on their channel anymore. So it's more of a like, you have to come here and watch this live, otherwise you're not going to see it. I leave everything there. Go watch. Like I tell my people, they leave. Oh my god, I can't believe I missed it. It doesn't matter. It's still there. Go watch it at your convenience. Go watch it in 10-minute intervals. You know what I mean? I don't expect you to watch me for an hour. That's crazy. And I try to cut it. Like I try to cut it in an hour. Like when I start to see it get up to like 52 minutes, 53 minutes, I go, oh, good, I'm almost done. I don't go, hey, I got another hour to go. Get the hell out of here. You out of your mind? Like, but don't we all know the longer you play these things, the more they're going to, let's play for an hour, take a break, maybe go grab dinner and take another hour, and then we'll come back.
Yeah.
Like, we don't need to go live for 4 hours. What are we doing here?
No.
Like, stop.
And with the casino play, do you have any superstitions?
No, I'm against them. I actually go against superstitions. I go against the superstitions and the myths, and I try to show my audience how ridiculous it is.
Oh
Yeah,
no, like
yeah.
any specific, like we were talking to Rhonda. She said she takes the card out and the ticket out a couple of times before she plays it.
We were on. I don't remember if it was Money Mansion or one of the trains, and every time a bonus came out, she's pulling the card out and putting it back in, and pulling it out and putting it back in. She ready? If I'm with her, because I God forbid I don't have a drink on me, she won't. You can't put it on the panel. So like when I play, I don't care. I got my battery, my cup, and I'm hitting, and I'm not realizing it. I'm sitting with her playing. I put my cup there. She goes, "You got to get the cup off of there." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" Like I'm the guy that walks. I told you, walks under the ladder and breaks the mirror. Like, let's go, bring it on. Bring it on. I'll stand outside with a bat during lightning. Let's go. Like, let's test this out. And I've gone through I think there's like 13 or 1400 videos I have now. And I feel like I have tested out so many of these, little tricks and tips and stuff like that. And like I always say to people, unless you're doing full blown statistics, none of this matters. None of this matters, because you're only going to remember the time where, here's a good example. I did it because my father was one of those people. And I remember doing that one time on $100 Wheel of Fortune. I did it and the freaking spin came out. Of course I remember that time. What about all the times I did it and it didn't happen? I don't have those on record. That's the problem. And like, these people have the confirmation bias that it'll happen, not realizing like, it may happen because of the delay you're taking. Right. If you sat there and went through the motion, but you didn't do it, it would be the same thing. That's what people, and I want to help people. Now that I realize what a grasp gambling has, and after talking to all these slot manufacturers and the people that make these games and seeing how they manipulate your brain,
oh, sure.
There are people who don't have common sense that are in the casino. There are people who are down on their luck that are in the casino, and they don't know any better. And you could freaking hand them a book for $200 and say, this has all the tips and tricks in it, and they'll buy it without reading. You know what I mean? Like they'll without even looking into it. And once I realized that, and talking with Dave and Mark, and obviously Cowboy, and seeing what they were doing with the community, I said, I got to jump on board with this. And now whenever I'm playing, I try to notice certain things to point out to the people to disprove it, because it really is now superstition. I'm your guy. That black cats don't cross me. I cross them. Like, that's what I tell people. I go spit them out.
That's good to know. You're one of the few people that we talk to that don't have some little quirk about them on a machine. I got to touch it 3 times. I got to rub it. I got to do this.
Forget it. Can you imagine? You got to spin around, touch your head, count to 10. Get the hell out of here. And none of this matters. What are we doing?
Now, we found out that you were a table player.
Yeah, yes, I was a heavy table player. I used to count in blackjack too, very well. And I remember like we had our own systems, like you watch the movie and they have their own like their number systems. What my friends and I would do, Jerry being one of them, who's known on my channel, whatever the plus number was, we would say a football player that wore that jersey number. And then come to find out, the dealers didn't give a crap. They didn't care. They were like, because one time I remember, I think I was getting a little too crazy. I was drinking a little much, and I remember sitting with my friends, but there was somebody else at the table, which I hate. I like when it's just us 3, because we're all determining each other. I'm not going to feel bad taking a hit card and my friend loses, whereas it's a complete stranger. I don't want to mess up that person's stuff. And I think somebody was getting a little mouthy one night, And sure enough, I yelled it across the table to count. It was like, yeah, I was like, Dad, you got +9, +8, something like that. And the dealer's like, no, it's +10. And I was like, oh, I said, they don't care. Like, what is it? And then I'm thinking about it, like, hold on a second. This ain't your money. Shut the hell up. The more I win, the more I tip you. Let's be in this together, buddy. As long as you're not cheating, of course. But I mean, let's just shut up. You're not hearing me do this. Then we started to count out loud. And it, for the most part, they didn't care. Nobody really cared. But I love craps. Craps is the one I've taught millions of people how to play craps. It's one of the best games in the casino. But man, you want to talk about an adrenaline rush when things start going? That is better. Playing a craps table with like 6 of your friends and like somebody's on a hot streak and stuff like that, nothing can top that feeling in a casino. I hit a grand jackpot on a Buffalo machine. Not even close.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
how do you feel about the taxes? Obviously, you get hit with the federal tax on slot machines, but you can win $2 million on the table and you don't pay a dime.
That's right. I think isn't there a certain threshold like 5,000 on a table, and then they have to, like, if you hit for 5,000 on this specific table at this point. I don't mean spread out 1,000 here, 1,000 here, 1,000 here. I thought, or at least in Atlantic City, if you cash out 5,000, if you win 5,000, that they do in fact give you a W-2 or a slip of some
Oh,
sort.
okay.
That is
I
not
didn't know
confirmed
that.
because I've
Okay.
never done it. It's not confirmed because I've never done it, but I remember that being in conversations long time ago when I used to play friggin' tables, and now I don't anymore.
What's one of your craziest stories? Tell us a
Oh God.
story.
From what? Like my life or like in the
Oh,
casino?
yeah.
I hope you got time because I've been through it.
Well, it's not if I have time, it's if you have time.
I got it. What do you want? What do you
Okay.
give me
Oh, yeah.
genre.
Tell me one from your personal life that someone might not know.
A crazy
Oh,
one.
well, actually, you did have something that we checked out. You said you were feeling like you were being targeted when you were playing on one of the machines.
Oh, that's not crazy. I'm
Go
talking
ahead.
about somebody drinking.
Oh,
What do you mean? What do you
no,
mean? Go
no,
go more. Go
like
more.
people have been getting robbed lately, especially in Florida.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
especially Atlantic City. I got cased out in Tampa, Florida, and Slot Hopper and her husband Dave
oh, this
actually
is the
came to my
story.
rescue. Yeah, they came to my rescue, and of course I'm with Tim Slot Hopper. I feel like there were more people there. And I like stupid ass. I'm wearing my chain here. I'm sorry. See, it's starting to happen. They're starting to come out now. And I'm
I'm
not
okay
drinking.
with
I
that.
swear, this is just coffee.
Okay.
This is just coffee. I swear. I think.
Uh,
All right. And Tampa. Have you been to Tampa Hard Rock?
no.
Okay, so it's huge. And there's different sections of the casino. Like there's multiple high limit rooms. There's a non-smoking upstairs. Beautiful casino. And we were all the way on one side. And I'm like, this guy keeps looking at my necklace. I'm walking around, and now I'm like, here we go. Like, we already bring attention to us. We're walking around with tripods and stuff. I
Sure.
get it. I get that. And I try to, survey the room and go, okay, these people are just curious. These people are no good. And sure enough, I'm like, all right, this is in my head. Nobody notices anything else. We moved. We walked across the casino to the other high limit room now. Not like we went around the bend. And I look up and I go, holy crap, that's the guy that was just staring at me. I'm circling around. I'm like, let me go to the bathroom. And there's two bathrooms in the place and there's one secret one. So I went, we were standing here by this one. I walked all the way around like secretly to go into this one. When I came out of the bathroom, I see the person that was staring at my neck and they're like this, looking around. And I was like, that's it. Confirmation. This guy's looking for me right now. Okay.
Right.
I let 5-10 minutes go. I said something to Tim. Tim's oblivious. Tim has the best interest for everybody. He trusts
That's
everybody.
me.
And I do love him for that. And that's good. But me, I'm an anxiety ridden person. I think everybody's after me. Sure enough, Dave, Slot Hopper's husband, comes right up to me. He goes, dude, I think this guy's staring at you. And I'm like, there it is. I said, I knew it. I knew I wasn't crazy. And I said, he's on his phone. And I said, he's probably texting his buddy that's all the way over there in hopes that I walk that way. Hey, he's coming. That's exactly what they do in Atlantic City, by the way. So they don't get caught. This guy's innocent. When whatever happens, this guy's innocent when actually he was giving a full description of me walking towards his buddy, and they case you out like that.
Yeah.
So they walked me all the way back, to their car. They drove me to my car and I got the hell out of there. Sure enough, I think a month or two later, you read something, a couple was robbed, going Tampa. They went home and they got robbed at their household because they were followed. And I was like, see, I'm not crazy. It's not just me being negative anxiety person. But I like, remember, I'm loud too. So that comes in. I'm wearing all my jewelry like an idiot. That comes into it, and it's like I'm already drawing enough to myself. So I'm constantly like have my head on a swivel, like somebody's gonna take a shot at me here, right?
Well,
Like,
well, see
you know,
that I would think that'd be a problem as an influencer, because
yeah,
people know your face, and it's
yeah.
like, are they happy for you? You know what I mean? It's like,
Right,
oh man, this guy,
right.
I'm gonna watch him. He's gonna win
Human beings,
big,
yeah.
you
Or
know.
Like, you're funny.
or my
Well, tell
texting.
me what happened to Juan.
Oh, Juan from Low Budget High Limit Firefighter. He was in
Yeah, yeah.
Vegas. He said he was just won some money. He was leaving the casino and he had a backpack and he had the money in it. And the guy from the front bumped him. And then the
There
guy
it
from
is.
the back came up and cut off his backpack and ran off with all of his cash. I mean,
Damn.
that's the thing about, sort of being, YouTube famous that,
Yeah.
it's like, I believe most people are decent people, but there's
Yes, of
always some
course.
knuckleheads
Oh
out in the
yeah.
crowd.
Oh yeah.
And it's
No,
like,
you
oh, I
don't.
just saw that guy got 10,000 cash. I'm gonna go get some of that. You know
Yep.
what I mean?
Yep. And yep. And I'm always I'm in wrong places, wrong times. That's me. I
Yeah.
told you. You
Well,
ask most of these channels about a story,
well,
and I'm usually involved with it. It's
well,
crazy.
I don't condone violence, but Florida, they really have no gun regulations, so
Yeah. How
you can
many
stop
times
by
I
the
see?
store and pick one up.
Yeah, seriously. And like you gotta like worry because
Yeah, and it's
that stuff is real.
no, it is. I mean, as our society's going downhill a little bit, people
Yeah.
get desperate for money, but then, people like you, and Lady Luck and Vegas Matt showing $100,000 they won
Forget about it.
cash.
No way.
It's like, ooh, you can make yourself a target. I mean, it's
Yep.
all in fun, but then there's the assholes. I hate to say it, but they're
Yeah,
just
there
going to
you go.
ruin it.
Yes, let it out. Let it out. No, they do, and they make you worry about it, especially being a channel. Hey, NJ Slock, I just checked into Bellagio. There he is. That's why I don't check into places, and it's sad because I do want to meet my people and whoever's there and stuff like that. But sorry, you'll find that you'll either run into me when I'm there or you'll see the check in a day later because that's usually
Yeah,
what I
oh
do.
no, I think you do have to worry about your security, especially
Yeah,
nowadays.
yeah, it's a
Now,
shame.
this one's going to be a loaded question. If
Do
you
it.
had $500 to gamble, that's all you have.
Yeah,
You go into the casino. What machine would you play, and at what denomination?
$500. I would go play a an old school progressive, like a double diamond progressive, though, not a normal one that has the progressive up top. And I would do the dollar denomination, $3 or $5 spins.
Oh, okay. And now, do you have any deals? Even though I think I might have heard you say this, have any deals coming up with any casinos? You said you worked with IGT.
Oh, I
Because
just
you
did
said about
something with them. Yeah, when
okay,
I met you guys, yeah, we just did something the night before. I had just done something with IGT. Otherwise, no. I'm going up to
okay, no,
Foxwoods and
no,
New
no
Hampshire.
voiceovers.
No, 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 no other fun stuff. Hopefully, some online stuff coming soon. Social casinos, whatever it may be. I had some good, I had some good a good contract in my lap, and then I got severely sick and I lost it. So I'm hoping that some other stuff come
I
back,
know.
maybe.
I'm in the same boat as you. I was sick for about 3 years. The doctors didn't know what it was.
Yep.
And it found out being something very simple, but they had me going nutso for 3 years. So I'm like,
Yeah.
you have a better appreciation for life. People
Yeah.
don't understand how precious life is until you go through something that can be scary. And it's
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, now you have a better appreciation for things.
Hey,
Yeah.
well,
That's right.
I'll ask this question since you brought that up. Everything that you have gone through, has it changed the way you view life now?
I thought it was going to be some sort of like, wake up call, like you need to, but because I'm a degenerate, it did more of like you see what could happen. Like tomorrow you could wake up and be crippled again, and not be able to walk. So let's do this, sort of thing. Like when I was just in Foxwoods, oh boy, did we live it up, But I mean it, I somewhat in an innocent way. I mean, obviously we're going heavy, but I'm now enjoying my time that much more when I'm out at the casino and I'm meeting up with my friends and community because there was a chance that everybody in the community was burying me or coming to my funeral or whatever it may be, and I want to see them see me in perfect light like I was, if not better. I did have faith in society until I go out in public, and then people absolutely ruin that. But seeing the community come together in way more extensive ways than anything, it gave me more of a grip and reality on human beings, at least a little bit. And I can say that there's more good than bad, and maybe lay back a little bit. But it also made me feel very important. Look how important of a person you are. Like, even though the numbers and all that stuff, and in the middle of a live or being on a private jet with this one and that one, I still never feel like it's good enough. I always want to do more. I always feel like I could give my audience more. I never feel good enough. So then when that happens and seeing everybody come together, it's like, not only were you good enough, but you were better than you thought you were. Like, look at these people. Look how much, these people love you, sending you $5. Like, what the hell are you doing? I don't want anybody's money. That was crazy to me. Like,
Oh no.
just nuts. But it
Yeah.
did give me, it gave me a little bit more grasp. I'm more open with my kids doing things because, I really didn't want to, like, when my wife is home and she's not working, like right now, she has the kids out to dinner and whatnot. Like, I would stay back and do editing. I would work, or something along those lines. Now I'm like, I'll do it when I get home, and I go out with them more and try to enjoy it more. And, little
Little
things like
things.
that, but not, it's not as crazy as I thought it was going to be. I thought so too. I'm like, I'm going to come out of
Yeah.
this.
No,
I'm going to start.
I
Yeah.
I didn't do the Tim McGraw song "Live Like You're Dying,"
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
but
No,
nothing like
I
that. If you
just,
ever heard the song,
no.
but it's I'm not into country music, but I thought I was gonna have the same thing. He said his dad felt like he was dying, literally dying.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you gonna do? And I'm gonna go skydiving. I'm gonna do Rocky
Yeah.
Mountain climb. It's like, I'm gonna have a cigar and drink some scotch.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Right up my alley, right? And now I'm more open to those things. And maybe I will go put a microphone in my hand one of those days to say, you might have, been ended without even trying it. And that's where, that little switch might have happened, through all this, where I might jump, to something now. Hey, let's go skydiving. You know what? Let's do it. Whereas, I used to hold back a little bit and not be as nuts and crazy, and now I just feel like I'm going to be even more nuts and crazy. I can't wait for Vegas. That should be good. Or dive off the stratosphere or something nuts, swim in the Bellagio fountains. I always wanted to do that, actually. So maybe I'll give that a shot this year.
See, I think that's different. Yeah, yeah.
you
You
know?
you have more, I think you have more appreciation for just going for it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah. Absolutely.
one of the things I wanted to mention is one of the reasons I didn't hit on what happened to you was I feel like you've had to talk about it so much. I want
Yeah, that's all
people to
right. Yeah,
see
that's
you
fine.
now,
Yeah,
and how you come back from that, which is amazing. But when
yeah,
I watched your interview with Jimmy J, and you talked a lot about what had happened. And if anybody hasn't seen it, you guys need to go watch that interview. It was amazing. But one of the things that I took from that is you were talking about Rhonda, and you
yeah.
said, you were going through all this stuff. You didn't get anywhere. You were talking to Rhonda. All of a sudden, she's got a contact for you,
Yes, yeah,
you know,
and
and then
yeah.
things start moving. So, what do you think about people are put into your life for a reason?
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, to go back on it, that's the other side of the spectrum we didn't touch. We touched on not everybody's temporary, and that's okay. You could be friends with somebody, and then you're not friends anymore. You get to know each other, and you break away. It's okay. Not everybody's temporary. Where that is a totally different side of the spectrum, where it's like, I sat there because I did the same thing with them. How many times I was discharged with this, not being able to walk. You're discharging me home. What the hell is wrong with you people?
Oh,
I was still going through that too. And I wonder, and I sat there and I go, holy crap. Like, if I never started a slot channel, I'm not advancing with this. Like, what am I doing? Am I suffering still? Am I dead because I got, mistreated? People think that's a joke. These freaking nurses and doctors in some of these places, they think it's just a headache. That's a headache. It's a headache. I can't
wow.
walk. What the hell is wrong with you people? Like, because I'm about helping, help, and it's like, you're in the medical field. Like, that should be, I don't care what your last patient was. That's the point. You're supposed to move on to the next. So just because 8 people came into emergency with something that shouldn't have been an emergency, that's not me. That's not me. I'm now the ninth person. Let's focus as though I'm the first person. That's what they don't decipher. The generations are getting younger that don't want to work at all. So God forbid. I remember laying in the hallway at one of the hospitals for 8, 9, 10 hours, in pain, like just like that. It's like laying, wondering what the hell's going on next. Like, does anybody check up on anybody? Can I have
Right.
water? Can I have a water? Is that too much to ask for? Stuff like that. So it's like, I gave up on that, the medical field. I'm like, come on. And then, Rhonda happened to be friends with like the former president of the American Neurology, this or that. And I mean, a shout out to that woman too. And I was on the phone with Rhonda yesterday and I said, I don't say her name because I don't know. I don't want to get anybody in trouble. I don't want to, but she knows who she is and stuff. That's Rhonda's personal friend. This woman called me in the middle of the hospital, in the middle of being with her family. She talked to me for
Wow.
45 minutes to an hour. She asked for all my records. Let me see. And she directed me right to where, everything happened. And I'm like, what the hell? Everybody was bouncing me around before this. Thank God for Rhonda. What if I
Right.
didn't know Rhonda? What if I wasn't friends with Rhonda, right? We could have just been
Right.
two slot channels existing in the community, and we live 5 minutes from each other too, which is even funnier. So it's like, no, I tell her, I say, Rhonda, I credit you with the advancement of everything that's happened to me and possibly saving my life because I could have died like 3 times, he said. It's crazy. So yeah, nuts stuff. I love talking about it. Don't I love it because now I'm bringing awareness to it too.
I
It's like a
think that's
thing.
good.
Yeah.
That is a
Oh
good
yeah.
thing to bring awareness to it.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah. No more
I,
jokes. One of the biggest side effects of what I had is suicide. Think about that one. And
Really.
oh my God, I read that. That went right through me. And I said, I understand. Like I literally looked at that and I said, I get it.
oh
Because
no.
I was always someone that didn't understand suicide. You're younger, you're not developing properly, then you see what happens in life and you get in your 30s, still don't quite get it. I'm still not a, person of that stature, suicide. Then I saw that and what I was going through and I sat there and I said, I get it. Because
Oh,
you're being treated like you're crazy. People
uh, uh,
they
uh,
think, yeah, I just have a
same
headache. I just have a
same
headache.
exact thing, and
Yeah, they're
and
sending
I
me out
was
to
going nuts.
psychiatrists.
I was having
Yeah,
panic attacks all the time because I didn't know what was going on. And
yeah,
they did all these tests, and it's like they did this final test, and it finally was the answer. They came back, but it was 3 years of my life, and I was just like,
yeah.
I felt like I was crazy. So no, I can relate to that.
Oh,
Even though
yeah.
we'll probably bring it down to a notch or two below. But now, your kids, would you recommend them following in your footsteps?
No, I don't ever want them stepping into a casino. I've been in a casino since I was 7, 8, 9 years old. I don't want them there. I brought them there like a couple times on trips when I first started, and then like the stuff happened in Tampa, and then I see like, all the Facebook groups and there's crime happening every day. And I said, there's no reason for my kids to be here. Nothing against anybody that brings their kids because casinos have things for them. I'm not doing it. I don't want them to, but I will have that sense of confidence that came out of me thanks to everybody in the community and the audience. And I will instill that in my kids. There was no confidence, when we were growing up. Nobody was going to be a movie. We lived in Bloomfield, New Jersey. Nobody went anywhere. You went to the north end of Bloomfield. Nobody made it. Nobody ever did anything. So there was never any push for that. No matter if you were funny, if you were good at, there was never any push from anybody. That goes all the way through high school, middle school, whatever it may be. Everybody
Wow.
just went through the steps of where, oh, you're after high school, you work through high school, you work, you get out, work. College wasn't a thing. You go right to work, you go make money, you go work, you go work, you go work. So that was instilled. My kids, I'm gonna say, you don't need to do shit. Go be great at something, go take over and start your own thing. And I will always, push them in a separate way, because of the experiences that I've had. And I'll do that with everybody, every kid I coach, everything, I will always see the best in those kids and tell them, like sometimes you gotta jump,
Are
you
you
know?
able to get back into coaching now, or are you
Oh
still?
yeah, finally. Oh my
Oh,
God,
good.
I missed all the baseball season. That killed me. But football's right around the corner now. I'm drooling for it. I cannot wait for that stuff because
Oh,
that's
that's
like
good.
that's wartime. That's because I'm not the normal. I'm not the normal coach. I'm a completely different, go against the grain kind of guy. Other coaches hate me because I'm all about the kids. I don't give a shit about winning and losing. Like my goal is to develop these kids to the best of their ability. I'm not coaching pro athletes in the NFL. I'm coaching 9 and 10-year-olds, and all they have around them is screaming and yelling because that's how we were coached. And these a-hole fathers and people who think they know football or whatever it is, they instill that on their kid and they yell, you tough it up and
Oh,
tough it
yeah,
out.
yeah,
Get the
yeah.
hell out of here. My kid ain't toughing anything out. My kid grabs his head, he's coming off the field. I don't care if it's the middle of the championship game. I don't care what you think is going on in your town. None of that matters. And if everybody else thought that way, we would be in a good community of that because it is absolute mayhem. These kids I feel bad for. They have very bad parents. They have very bad coaches. And my goal is to be the coach that I never had. So I'm going to absolutely, not only on my kids, but everybody else's kids. Whoever is in my kids' age group is going to, have that
That's
before that.
awesome.
It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
funny. You think a lot like me, even though this interview isn't about me, it's about you. But I taught my kids, hey, life is going to be hard. From the
Yeah.
time you're born till you're 18, enjoy it. Go hang
Yeah.
out with your
Absolutely.
friends, go to the
Yep.
movies. Life
Yep.
is going to shit on you when you go to
Absolutely.
school, you get a job, enjoy yourself now. I don't, like you said, with the parents, I don't get that because it's like, this is going to be the best time of their life. You don't have to worry
Yep.
about paying a bill. You don't have to worry about
Yep.
the lights being on. You don't have to worry
Yep.
about rent or mortgage or whatever you have.
Make it great. Like,
Yeah, yeah, just enjoy yourself because the rest of the life is going to be a lot harder.
absolutely. Like my generation is completely, lost on nostalgia and yearning for a place that doesn't exist anymore in childhood. Well, then why don't you make your kids' childhood even better than yours, you stupid ass? And, live through them, teach them the right way, teach them from the mistakes that you made as a kid and don't get, so crazy about it. I say that. Meanwhile, my kid's going to walk in and I'm going to want to suplex him through a friggin' table, but I try to use those morals and common sense that wasn't passed down on me. Nothing bad about my parents at all. They were loving, incredible parents, but we were kids that were out 18 hours a day. There was no parental guidance. Like, come on, we're being serious. There was no way to track us. There were pay phones. We didn't even have beepers at that point.
Yeah, a
We
different
were,
generation.
oh man, we were on our own to find things out the wrong way, the hard way. We'd do things behind our parents' backs when we were out of the house, and stuff like that. So it's like these kids aren't getting away with that, buddy. I'm tracking you down the street. Where do you think you're going? Like, or who you getting by? But I will always, I'll always go the other way. I say fade the public. If I see the public going, 20 people are going this way, I'm going this way. And it's the same thought process with all of this stuff when it comes to sports. These kids, I live in a town of 6,000 people and they treat it like it's Texas State 5A championship. Like, you
Good
people need
Lord.
to stop. I grew up in a town of 40,000 people. I played against NFL athletes. You guys are playing against each other. Stop. Nobody's going to the NFL. Let's make this the best experience we can for them for the next. My kid's 9 already. He's halfway there. Like, I think about
Yeah.
that and I go, oh my God, this is almost over because I just did this. I coached in a completely different town on the 7th and 8th grade level. So I watched these kids from the time they were in 2nd grade work their all the way up. I'd have them for 2 years, then I'd watch them through high school, and it's like at that point they're 13 years old going through whatever it is. And then they're grown adults in 4 years. It's absolutely bananas. It's rewarding. It was crazy. And what, sitting at all those dinners and watching those memories of them growing up with, the soundtracks going on, the parents are crying and all this stuff. I didn't have that connection to those kids. They're not my kids. I had a coaching connection to them. Like, oh man, I missed you. I'm going to miss you guys. I only had you for 2 years. Then you watch them go through, you watch them graduate high school. And now I'm like, like, holy crap, you were just 13 years old. And then you ready for this? And then some of them are sending money on my GoFundMe. And I'm like,
Oh, that's got to be
you want to talk?
heartbreaking.
You want to talk about you want to? But it mentally got me through those long ass nights in the hospital when I couldn't see and stuff. And I'm seeing a kid that I was coaching when he was 13 sending me $15. He's in college trying to, get him through his education and stuff.
Oh,
That was yeah,
yeah.
about that for rolling around. It's not why I coached. I didn't have this in my plans. My plans to get sick and have this GoFundMe and all that stuff. So to see those names come up, like a couple of them too. There was like 3 or 4 or 5. Some of them are texting me, out of college, 24, 25 years old, living their lives, and they're thinking about me, and it's like, holy crap. How can I ever stop doing this? It's one of the most addictive things. Casino gambling's one thing, and all this other stuff. But oh my God, rewarding these children and developing them and seeing them grow up, and you're still a part of their lives. It's one of the most rewarding things of all time.
You
More
are
people should do it.
amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I see
Amazing.
everybody we met in this community so far is very, very amazing. We watched your other interviews and we were trying to make this a little bit different because
Yeah,
people
that's
want this.
hard to do. That's hard to
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
I
Because
know.
you
I
can have
know it.
certain questions, but I haven't heard the story about the children and donating to you. And I think, I mean, that
Yeah.
I'd be crying like a baby,
How
even
about
though
that for a killed
even though
man?
men
I mean,
don't
in a good
cry.
way. In a good way. When I was at my lowest point, in my life at 40 or 39 years old, sitting there in the hospital, it was those donations, and I'm reading through and I'm going, holy crap, some of these names I
Oh,
don't even know. I've never met these people, some of them. That was touching too, like people in the community. And when somebody would send, like, from the community, they're sending $5 or $10, and I'm going, Jesus. Like, I don't want this. Like, you know what I mean? But you
But
were on,
but
like,
it's
you
nice to
needed to do that.
know. You
Like,
know,
wow, you
I may
know?
not, yeah, but see, I may not need you to mow my grass, but you see, I got a broken leg and you come knock on the door, you go, hey,
Yeah,
you need some help. It's always
it
nice to you
was.
have
Uh,
somebody that's got your back because
yeah,
nobody goes through life alone, you
that's
know,
right.
and you shouldn't
That's
if
right.
you are, you should
Yeah,
have somebody to fall back on, a group of people,
agreed.
family, friends.
Agreed. There's a lot more out there than you realize that you get along with, and it doesn't have to be in every aspect. I don't believe in the whole, soulmate, whole all that stuff. I don't think anybody could love you 100% of what you are, and put that when it goes to friends, right? Like you have certain friends that I play video games with, certain friends I go to the casino with, certain
Sure.
friends I do this with, and that's fine. All of that combined makes 100%. You know what I mean? So that's fine. And that's what people have to get over. Like, oh, we don't eat the same kind of food. I don't like that person anymore. Like, that's it. You give up on that part. Like you still have some kind of similarities. And now with the community, our one similarity is we're all casino people, and then another similarity is we're all influencers. So what's the problem? How are we having such a problem keeping this together? I'm sure we get along on some kind of spectrum, right? I'm sure. Let's find it. Let's get
You,
there. Let's
you,
put it
you, you,
together.
you know, the best thing when you do have friends, it's things you have in common. And you have the
Yeah, of
slots in
course.
common, and you
Yes,
have
yes. Right
channels
off the bat.
and you're trying to
Yes.
entertain. So it's
Not
like,
Two for two.
everybody's like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
No, not people get
but that,
jealous.
no,
They
I, yeah, but see,
Yes, they do.
I used to work for a company and they would give you a personality test. They
Yeah.
wouldn't hire you even if you were qualified. And there was about 30 of us, and you had to score the way they wanted you to. And everyone got along. It was weird. There was
Yeah.
everybody was helping everybody. It's when there's like 16 different personalities known to man, and everybody falls in, but you're trying to put one personality with another personality. That becomes a problem. But the thing that can bring you together is what you have in common. Like you said,
That's
sports. And
right.
I was checking out the one interview and you were talking about, you're a huge 49ers fan. It's like, I used to be a 49ers fan back in the day with Montana
Yeah.
and Jerry Rice and T.O. And, I do jump teams. I hate to say it. Who's ever high flying, I watch. But it's like, and I don't get it either because we should, as human beings, have more in common because we want the same thing. You want your kids to go to a good school,
Yep.
and to be safe. You want to
Yeah.
be able to walk down your neighborhood. We should
Absolutely.
have more in common. Who wants to live in a bad neighborhood where you have to
Yeah.
watch over your back? I want my kids to go to a shitty school. They won't learn anything. Oh, who really wants that?
Yeah. Right. We got to
I,
agree on something. There's something
yeah,
there,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, we do. I don't get it. I mean,
Me
maybe
neither.
today's climate, it's everything is you versus me. But the thing is, we have more in common, than we don't.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right.
hey, let me
Uh,
in because I know I
yeah, yeah, we're almost done. You answered all these questions
Let's go. I'm enjoying it and then some. Let's go. Let's
without
keep
us even
going.
asking.
didn't get to hear any stories. Maybe another time.
Oh, I didn't tell you any crazy stories. Like
No,
from, yeah. I mean, I mean, like we got to sit down and go over this because I have some really good. Here, a year ago, a year ago, I was in West Virginia with Mr. Hampay, and we were filming a movie with Dean Cain and Richard Grieco. There's a crazy story. There's
Oh,
crazy stuff. Yeah. And that was something
wow.
I was not expecting. Yeah. No, I was just going to support the freaking guy and go hang out with Mr. Hampay for a weekend. And sure enough, all of a sudden I'm in a movie. I'm laying in the freaking weeds in West Virginia with a rusty, like a bike chain around my neck with mud all over me. Like, who, you know what I mean? So it's like, and that was one of those things that I jumped at because I remember him saying, I'm going to this, I'm in this, in West Virginia, middle West Virginia, which, by the way, you can't get into. I had to fly into Pittsburgh and drive an hour and a half into West
Oh,
Virginia. That's where we were.
oh.
Yeah, mayhem. No casinos, no recording. I have 3 children. It's very hard to, make this happen. But this was the one thing where I was like, no, we're going to do that. Like, we're going to make this happen. And we did. And I had the time of my life with Mr. Hampay for 3 days. I always do have the time of my life with Mr. Hampay.
Yeah,
But
I'm
like,
sure.
that was banana land. That was, again, like, no, I had to, I was on the phone with Jackpot Judo the next morning after I was there. And I remember looking around, like in the West Virginia. I'm going, where the hell am I? What the hell is going on here? Like, and this is all because I started a slut channel. It all goes back to that, right? It's all because I started a slut channel. I'm
Oh,
not
you're
here doing
making
this.
my cheeks hurt.
None of none of these people, like that. None of this happens unless, and that's I'm just scratching the surface here. These stories get deep. Trust me. You know what it is, B?
Okay, so we have more.
You're gonna have to
we'll
be.
do more
You're gonna.
interviews. We'll do.
You're gonna have to join.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of stories out there. There's
Ask
craziness
him
out
the
there.
magic question before we go. One about what he would tell other slot players that wanted to.
Oh, well, two actual questions. What got you to start the slot fan channel?
So that's not my channel actually. The
It's
gentleman,
not. Sure. It's
the
okay.
gentleman, the gentleman that's doing it now, that's interviewing Matt. It was his, and Matt and I came together because he knew Tim, I knew Tim, and it was a mutual. He did online stuff trying to get me involved. We couldn't get something going. Sure enough, on their site they had like channels, ranked up, and some of them you could click on for biography, some of them you couldn't. So I contacted Matt and I said, "Hey, I got an idea. Like, I don't have the time to put together a podcast and do a whole thing like everybody wants me to do." I said, "But if you have an editing team and all this stuff, let me interview slot channels on your channel on Slots Fan."
Oh, okay.
So it'll be Slots Fan featuring NJ Slot Guy, and trust me, I know these channels, big channels. I'm not just, pulling your leg here. And he dove in. He dove in with me and we started to do it together. Sure enough, my injury is what, we were, when I tell you, full force. Like, again, I would have 4 interviews already done and scheduled, months in advance. We were working so well together, and then I got injured. I actually was interviewing Dave from Gamble Smart when I started to feel the symptoms of everything. I was sitting right here in this seat too. I'll never forget it. And, I left them in the flat. What could they do? But you know what? Because of that, I'm glad that Matt has a good voice. He's got a great voice. I was telling him it. You're good for the camera. Matt, you love the industry. You love the community and these channels. You have me. Like, I will always help you out. I don't care if I'm here or not. And I wanted to keep it separated. And sure enough, it was for a good reason, because now they are still Slots Fan. You know what I mean? And I'm still NJ Slot Guy. And nobody got merged because nobody got ruined because of it. And everything keeps flowing together. And we still work together. We still know each other. We still do whatever.
That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I want to see them take off and have 1 million subscribers at one point. I would love every second of it. Great people.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Then our last question would be, what advice would you give anybody starting out today in YouTube land and the slot community?
It's a lot different from 6 years ago when I was emailing, old school slots and Stacy and Randy, and I had paragraphs going of this is the greatest thing of all time. And, now I have a different take on it. And I can say, honestly, if you're going to have a channel and you're going to dive in, don't go chasing stuff, because once you start chasing stuff, that's when it starts running. And it's like, what are you going to compete with? I know everybody's seeing the $200 spins and stuff like that. I need to tell you, like, on $5 and $10 spins consistently, I cannot believe the amount of money that I have lost trying to keep this channel afloat, which is why I pulled back so much, because after being sick, for half of the year, I saw how much money I wasn't losing. And I was like, screw this. What am I playing? $10, $20, $30, $50? Those $200 per pull channels are always going to exist. Let me pull back a little bit. It's my audience. Yeah, sometimes, I get the little, stupid comments. You used to do $30 a spin. Like, oh, okay. Like, thank you, Mr. Obvious. Like, yeah, now I'm doing $5 spins. Like, congratulations to you. But I still see the same comments from the same people rooting me on, saying that was awesome. I love seeing you play with your mom. I love seeing you play with.
Oh, I love hearing your mom in the background.
So do you hear her? She's
love it.
Yeah. Well,
she hated every machine. Everyone. Get out.
Now, what I categorize YouTube slot players in 2 categories. Even I already said that. One is the entertainer. I'm going to fire it in there, it in there. And then those people that play to win. Like Cowboy Slots, when we interviewed him, he said he wins. But he plays to win instead of, I'm going to put another 5,000 in. I'm going to put another 5,000. And we appreciate you because you do like a mix. I was watching some of your stuff before we did this today, especially like at the Sands, you're walking away with a win. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then like Jackpot Beauty, if you follow her, she plays to win, Juan from Low Budget, High Limits, he plays to win. And I don't think you guys are in the same lane.
I agree. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I'm just playing entertain.
Yeah. When the one night I watched him put like $150,000 in a machine and he wouldn't get off of it. Oh
I've
yeah.
learned my lesson too much. You will not see me, like I said, testing the theories out, right? Again, ignorance to it because when you started the channel, what did I do? I went down to Atlantic City once a month at best. I would poke around the machines. I didn't know anything, and it was known like, oh, somebody just got up from that machine. They threw 2,000. Go sit down. Go sit down. That was the thought process. You had all those superstitions. And then after playing these machines so frequently, I saw everything that happened top to bottom. I remember playing a double top dollar machine with Mike, $50 spins, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. Like this spin's got to come out, right? No, 5,000, 6,000. And we're sitting at dinner going like this. What the hell are we doing here? And then I've been on the other side of that where we're playing $10 Wheel of Fortune and we got 6 spins in a 10-minute session. That's unheard of. That is, you know what I mean? Then you see how random it is. Then you meet guys like Brantley and Dave and Mark, and you start getting into statistics and Tim, and you start to understand certain things. And you're
Right.
like, what the hell am I doing? Why did I decide to play slot machines instead of eating food or drinking coffee like these influencers do? No, I decided to play friggin' slot machines. So once I've realized that the slot machine is not the entertainment on my channel, because on most of the other channels, especially the higher ups, the slot machine is the show. $200 spins, $100 spins. You're
Yeah.
not taking your eyes off that. Whereas I don't need that. I could play 50 cents and you are going to get A plus top notch entertainment. You're going to get better entertainment than you did the last time I was here doing this, because now I've realized I'm the primary and the slot machine is the secondary. This is just existing. This is feeding me my next words. You're going to be a good machine and we're going to celebrate and talk bonuses and make fun of things on the machine and call the woman a broad on the machine and curse at the machine. What are we going to do here? Regardless, you're getting the same show no matter which slot machine is in front of me, and I don't need to do $100 spins and go $100 spin special live for my people to watch. They're always going to be there, the same people, because they just love what I do. They love the banter. They love the psycho, whatever the hell's wrong with me. I definitely got something wrong with me. Like, and I say that to people, like, yeah, there's definitely something wrong with me. I'm definitely a little, off, but that's fine because nobody changed the world being normal. So,
Well,
Right.
you were born in Jersey now, right?
yeah,
That might
I hate
explain
it
it.
here. I hate it here too. That's I hate New Jersey. I hate the status quo it has, like all of that. The Jersey attitude is obviously here and all that, but like I hate it. I hate being associated with the Jersey people because it's the Jersey Shore and I'm nothing like that. Like I'm a full blown Italian. Do you know how many fake Italians I have to walk around and be around every day of my life up here in this neighborhood? Everybody thinks they're in the mob. Everybody's mother's off the boat and they're saying Galamad. And let me get the Galamad. And they're like, buddy, you're watching too much Sopranos. And like, I got to get away from these people, like sort of thing. I want to get the hell away from New Jersey after being in all these beautiful states and all these beautiful casinos and what lies out there. Like, what the hell am I doing? I'm staring at trees every night at the Garden State. It is a garden. The whole state is a garden. I drive down the parkway. There's trees over there. There's trees over there.
Yeah.
You drive in Texas, I could see 250 miles across. I see a tornado over there. It's amazing. It's beautiful. Here, trees. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, that's not what we call it because we like to give Philadelphia to you guys.
No. See what I mean? Look what's associated with me, like New Jersey.
Yeah, you can have Philly.
And Jay's no judgment. That's no judgment channel, and that's true. I stick true to that word. Like with all the people in the community and all of the problems and whatever mental issue or personal issue or whatever it is, whatever you problem you have, you lost $1 million. No judgment. When you sit with me, when we're having drinks, smoking a joint, whatever your pleasure may be, like I want you to feel, at 100%. Whatever you say to me is staying here. I have no interest in going, hey, Randy, did you hear that? I don't care. Because guess what? Now that moment isn't private anymore. Once I share anything you tell me to anybody else, that is no longer our special private moment. I have no interest in doing that. However, that's like 1% of the population. So I can't just, go crazy. But I always tell everybody, this is where you feel, good. No judgment zone. I don't care what you do. I don't care what you're into. Are you respecting it? I respect it. Let's do this. Like, I'm sure we can come to an agreement somewhere and get along somewhere along this list. And if not, it was a great night. I'll see you again sometime soon. No judgment. NJ.
So if people want to come see you, let them know where do you post all that information? Like if
I don't.
He said he
You know,
doesn't. Didn't you
oh,
listen to the interview? He said he doesn't want people to know where he's
Unbelievable.
at.
Unbelievable. What kind of interview is this?
no,
Hey,
no, no, wait.
He said you'll see him on the floor.
I usually
Where you're
don't. I
going to
usually
be.
don't let people know.
Yeah.
I love the
You're
element of
right. I did.
surprise.
I was just thinking there might be somewhere that,
No. Because actually, I was going to ask him if he was going to go down to Delaware Park when they do the grand opening. Because Rhonda
The
was talking
patio,
about that. Yeah, when they open up the
trying.
patio.
Yeah, trying to. I would love to get down there. I do owe Delaware a trip because of how loyal they've been to me. I will always be loyal to them, and my goal is to get back there actually in the next couple of weeks, probably before Biloxi. But I think that patio opening is on the weekend, which my wife works, and it's in between something or other. But I want to be a part of it. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, like that's when I would post it. You know what I mean? Like if I'm promoting
Yeah.
something for them,
right.
I'll be at Delaware Park this weekend, but those are very rare and far and few between. And I like that.
Gotcha.
I like that
Okay.
element of surprise. I love sneaking up on people where, oh my God, I didn't know you were going to be here. It's that much better of an embrace. And, again, going back to that whole stuff too, of the little bit of anxiety, I don't want to let people know where I'm at in case somebody wants to take a shot, and it's sad. It's sad. It's probably so slim, such a slim thing, but like, it's better off. I don't, need it. I'd rather you recognize me from how loud I am and you heard me from all the way over there. That's what I usually get, or, oh my God, I can't believe you're in Tampa, Florida. I didn't know you were going to be here. It's so much better. It's such a great, time. You're surprising somebody. They love it. And yes, I do feel bad because I'm sure there would be more people there if I did announce it. And I use that to my leverage when it comes to us eventually getting paid for all this stuff because I haven't used it before. And I could say, let's see how many people I could bring to this casino if I post that I'm going to be here, and let's talk some business with each other. Otherwise, I'm not going to do that for a casino that's not taking care of me either. Screw it. I'm not going to bring 20 of my audience here. Now they're going to lose money and put in your pocket. What did I get out of this? You know what I mean? Like, we need to be
Right.
taken care of here as a group because we're here together as a group. We could be in this casino together, so just weird different thought processes that go into it. And why I don't announce G2A, like I'm in Vegas for G2A. I don't have to check into the Bellagio. You run into me on the strip, you run into me. Stay up late. I'm usually wandering around the streets of Vegas. That's not a joke. You said you want to tell stories. There's a story 2 years ago when they were doing they were shutting it down for the races, all the streets and whatnot. It took us 30 minutes to move to one casino, and I had to go all the way down to the old, it's off the strip. Damn it. The old Hard Rock, maybe? Does that make sense? Does that sound like anything?
No.
Virgin something or other. It was, put it this way, in a full suit at 11 o'clock at night, I said, F this, let's get out of the Uber. We're walking. And it was somebody I just met from Every, no clue who this guy was. And I go, buddy, before we do this, I need to let you know something. This is either a train you get on or you get off. There's no medium. I'm going to get out of this Uber right now, and I'm going to go walk 2 miles to the hotel we need to go to. You want to do this or no? And he freaking did. And we're in full suits, in dress shoes, all day long, all stuff, in 100-degree heat, through the
Oh,
streets, through the back streets of Vegas, which aren't too much fun, by the way. You got to be a little careful. All the way to there. There you go. There's a story for you, B. Random G2A. I couldn't have planned that one out. I had that guy hammered out at 2:30 in the morning at some tribal party. I don't know how the hell I was invited to that either, but we made our way in, and we were life of the party by the end of it. But there you go. There's a story. There's a story from G2E. So you better show up. Last year we were on a rooftop. I almost threw Jerry off. It was great. Good times, the Palms. Yeah, Mr. Handpay. We got absolutely demolished. Yep.
oh my
Next
goodness.
day. Oh yeah. The next day I was trying to interview for Slots Fan. Next morning, 9 o'clock in the morning with Slots with Sean. And I remember I just closed my eyes around 5 that night. And with the amount of things that were consumed that night too, it was like I woke up not in good shape. But guess what? We worked. We powered through it. Party hard, play hard, but guess what? You better get your ass up. It's time to get to work.
Right. That's exactly.
Didn't feel good. It didn't feel good. I was a complete disaster, and just like I could see reporting like this, like oh my god, I can't believe I'm awake. But guess what? It's when you could tell these stories and have these awesome memories. And now that was all before this stuff happened to me. Imagine when G2E is gonna be like this year. I told you, I may jump off the stratosphere. That thing that you could, the
Things
skydiving.
are going to
You
be
never know.
great. Things are
Never
going to
know.
be great for you
Yeah.
this year. I can't wait to see what you do. We will
Yeah,
be
it's gonna be good.
watching.
It's gonna be good. Thank you guys. I really first of all, I appreciate you guys having me on here. I appreciate how sweet you guys are too. Like you're just like a ball of positivity. You know, when I saw you guys, when I ran into you, and like I said, Rhonda had nothing but great things to say about you.
Oh,
You guys had Brantley on, and I know Brantley's a great judge of character too. I would take his word for it over anything. So you guys, you know, you guys have a lot going for you. Keep doing this. You're great. Like you make me happy when I'm around you. You know, you bring I'm going to shut off. I'm going to shut off this laptop, and 2 minutes later, I'm going to be the most miserable person on the planet. But let me enjoy the smiling and laughing that's going on right now. I do appreciate it. I really do. Thank you.
Oh, well, we
Thank you.
appreciate you. We do.
Yeah.
And I am just so grateful that things are going the way they are for what you just went through.
Thank you.
We can't thank you enough for this. And we'll check in with you from time to time.
Check in.
And I
You need
will
anybody?
see you in person again.
Yeah, you better. You better. You know,
I will. I'm excited to. We have more stories to
I have your
share.
information, so I'll let you know. You know, I'll give you a little heads up on
Oh,
stuff
that'd
I
be
have coming up.
awesome.
Yeah, of course. I don't mind.
Okay.
And of course, if you have any trouble getting in touch with anybody in the slot community, let me know. I may have, you know, different contacts for them, and I will gladly guide you that way. And I will, you know, give a huge reference, you know, about you guys, and I will push everybody to absolutely do this. So yeah, it's great. Everybody should do this. Everybody should do it. There's no reason
Thank your
not to.
family for letting you spend
Oh, of
time
course.
with
No,
us.
no,
Okay.
of
When
course.
he
My
said
wife
his
made
oldest
sure.
was 9.
9,
I need
yeah.
a little break.
9, 7, and 5. It's
Oh,
absolute mayhem.
he needed a break.
Yeah, it's
Remember
absolute
those
mayhem,
days.
guys.
Okay. Phew.
There's
I
nothing to say.
have great
Mayhem.
grandchildren that age.
Yeah, no way, not you. No way.
Yep.
I just turned your age. I just turned 40 in June. What are you
Hey,
saying?
life's good now.
Enjoy
All
it.
right.
Smile.
Thank you so much.
Yep, we really appreciate it.
We love you.
Anytime. Please keep in touch. Please.
Okay.
Okay, we will. Bye.
Thank you to the both of you. Appreciate it.
Okay, bye.